Hello, young military friends. The latest news from the Ukrainian and Russian military is that the Multiple Launch Rocket System, MLRS, of the 151st Division, which is part of the Russian Yug Forces Group, successfully launched a high-precision attack on Ukrainian military drone defense fortifications and command posts on the northern edge of the Klebenbeek Dam. This attack was carried out after aerial reconnaissance and coordination with ground reconnaissance units, which successfully identified the enemy's location with accuracy. The barrage of rockets destroyed enemy defense infrastructure, including drone control points used to monitor Russian troop movements on the front lines. This operation is claimed to be part of ongoing efforts to suppress Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance activities and strengthen Russian strategic control in the region. In the Krasnoarmysk region, the Buk M3 surface-to-air missile system continues to provide reliable air protection for Russian Central Army Group units in the Krasnoarmysk direction. With its multi-target detection and firing capabilities, this system is capable of countering various air threats, including attack drones, cruise missiles, and enemy fighter jets attempting to penetrate Russian air defenses. Buk M3 combat operations are conducted in coordination with long-range radars and other layered defense systems, ensuring comprehensive protection for ground forces on the front lines. Thanks to the system's high reaction speed and accuracy, enemy air attacks in the Krasnoarmysk sector have been successfully thwarted, maintaining air dominance and operational stability for the Center Forces Group in the region. Meanwhile, the crew of the T-72B3M tank from the Vostok Forces Group, which is part of Russia's 5th Joint Army, successfully launched an effective ground attack operation in the Dnipropetrovsk region. With precise firepower and solid coordination with reconnaissance units, these tanks successfully neutralized enemy positions that were camouflaged and troops hiding in the area. This intensive attack destroyed several Ukrainian command posts and key firing points in a matter of minutes, cutting off communication lines and disrupting the enemy's command system. This successful operation demonstrated the T-72B3M's maneuverability and firepower advantages in modern combat on dynamic battlefields. The Tornado-S rocket artillery units of Russia's Sever Forces Group launched a coordinated attack that destroyed areas where Ukrainian armed forces personnel and military equipment were concentrated in the Kharkov direction. With their high-precision firing systems and wide firing range, the Tornado-S rockets accurately hit their targets, causing significant damage to enemy combat formations and logistics. This attack was carried out after aerial and satellite reconnaissance confirmed the location of the Ukrainian forces' accumulation, ensuring that each launch achieved maximum results. The impact of the attack not only caused significant losses to the enemy, but also shook the morale of Ukrainian soldiers who witnessed the massive destruction on their front lines. Russia has once again demonstrated its assertiveness on the battlefield. The tank division successfully thwarted the Ukrainian Armed Forces military engineering efforts in the Popasnoye area, specifically on the right bank of the Oskol River near Bugayovka. During the operation, Russia's high-precision weapon, Lancet, was used to destroy excavators that belonged to the Ukrainian military and were being used to strengthen their defensive positions. This swift and accurate strike not only thwarted the enemy's engineering activities, but also demonstrated the effectiveness of the Lancet weapon in undermining Ukraine's logistical and engineering capabilities on the front lines. This action serves as evidence that Russian forces are leaving no room for the enemy to strengthen their defenses in the conflict zone. Before they could launch an attack on Russian defenses, Ukrainian forces failed to carefully plan their moves. As a result, they were met with a brutal and coordinated counterattack. During the operation, the Russian military successfully destroyed the Ukrainian Armed Forces air defense system with high-precision strikes. The targets were hit directly using a combination of missile strikes and kamikaze drones, which completely crippled Ukraine's radar and missile launch systems. This swift attack not only thwarted Ukraine's offensive plans, but also demonstrated Russia's superior intelligence and combat capabilities in anticipating every threat on the battlefield. The Tornado-S Multiple Launch Rocket System, MLRS, from Russia's Vostok Forces Group once again demonstrated its prowess on the battlefield by launching precision strikes against enemy defenses in the Dnipropetrovsk region. In this operation, a salvo of Tornado-S rockets directly hit Ukrainian troop positions, destroying military facilities, combat vehicles, and logistics warehouses in the target area. The series of explosions resulting from the attack caused significant losses for Ukraine, both in terms of material and personnel, with dozens of soldiers reported to have been killed. This combat action confirms the superiority of the Tornado-S system in providing long-range firepower and high accuracy, while weakening Ukraine's defense capabilities in the Dnipropetrovsk sector. On October 29th, Ukrainian forces launched another mechanized offensive in the Dobropilya area, specifically in the direction of Otratinsky, with the aim of recapturing the settlements of Shakavoy and Vladimirivka. The attack involved a number of armored combat vehicles and infantry units attempting to break through Russian defensive lines. However, thanks to the readiness of the troops on the ground and coordinated artillery support, all of these efforts were successfully thwarted. Ukrainian armored vehicles suffered heavy damage, while Russian counterattacks drove back the remaining enemy forces. This operation once again demonstrated the resilience and effectiveness of Russian defenses in the face of large-scale attacks in the Okritinsky sector. Russia also deployed its heavy artillery forces by positioning 240mm 2S4 Tulpin self-propelled artillery units from the Center Forces Group to destroy the Ukrainian Armed Forces reinforced UAV command post in the Krasnoarmeysk direction. With its extraordinary explosive power and ability to penetrate thick concrete protection, the Tyopan artillery delivers highly precise strikes against targets identified through aerial reconnaissance. As a result, the Ukrainian drone command post was completely destroyed, disrupting enemy air coordination and surveillance systems in the sector. This operation demonstrates the high combat capability and destructive power of Russian heavy artillery in supporting tactical dominance on the Krasnoarmeysk front line. The accuracy of the Medusa artillery system from Russia's 238th Brigade was once again proven in the latest combat operations on the front line. Through careful coordination with aerial reconnaissance units, these forces successfully identified the defensive positions of the Ukrainian armed forces operating in the border area. After the targets were confirmed, precision strikes were launched using guided ammunition, directly hitting enemy troop concentrations and combat equipment. The powerful explosions from the Medusa artillery destroyed these positions in a matter of minutes, cutting off communications and forcing the remaining Ukrainian troops to retreat from the battle area. This success confirms the high effectiveness of the Medusa system in supporting Russian offensive operations on the front lines. With its wide firing range and high accuracy, this system is capable of providing significant tactical advantages on the modern battlefield. The attack not only weakened Ukraine's defensive positions, but also demonstrated that Russian forces remain in control of the dynamics of the battle in the region, strengthening their dominance in a strategic sector that has now penetrated deep into Ukrainian territory. Despite increasing combat pressure, Ukrainian special forces, supported by US-made HMMV tactical vehicles, attempted to conduct a clearance operation in the village of Yampol. Their main objective was to eliminate Russian sabotage and reconnaissance groups that were reportedly still operating in the area. This operation was carried out in coordination with other ground units, under the protection of light artillery and reconnaissance drones, to ensure that every corner of the village was safe from hidden threats. However, these efforts did not go according to plan. Russian forces had already carried out large-scale sabotage in the area, planting mines and destroying the main logistics routes that were vital access points for Ukrainian forces. As a result, the Ukrainian SSO's advance was hampered and lost its combat effectiveness in the field. The terrain, which was already controlled by Russia, made it difficult for Ukrainian forces to defend themselves, while their operation in Yampol ended without significant results. Russian infantry forces launched another planned counterattack in the Yampol forest area, targeting enemy positions that had previously attempted to hold the area. With the support of artillery fire and reconnaissance drones, infantry units moved tactically from one sector to another, sweeping away Ukrainian defense points camouflaged among the dense trees. The operation was intense, with Russian forces successfully breaching enemy lines and repelling the remnants of Ukrainian units attempting to hold their ground in the difficult terrain. After fierce fighting, Russian forces conducted a thorough sweep of the forest area to ensure there were no remaining threats. They discovered a large amount of military equipment and firing positions hastily abandoned by Ukrainian forces. This operation underscored Russia's superiority in close-quarters combat and guerrilla tactics in forest terrain, while also reclaiming the strategically important Yampol region, which had been contested over the past few days. In every battle, true strength lies not only in weapons, but in determination, strategy, and the conviction to defend one's goals until the end. Thank you for watching the video.